Good morning, all you red-blooded, hard-working American citizens. Welcome to my table. Thanks for tuning in. If we work together, try to like, share these videos, become a subscriber, hopefully we can work together to help fix some of our problems. So, I've been voting independent for the last 2 voting cycles that I actually voted in, but I missed the last 2. But I didn't really have anybody to vote for, so I'm not sad about it. I did make sure that I have done everything I need to do so that way I can vote this year. And I believe it to be pretty important. There's a lot of alternatives when it comes to Democrats and Republicans. That's what we need. We just need to throw our support behind it. What that'll produce is a win-win for everybody. So, if you understand and can pretty much admit that the Democrats are bought and paid for by lobbyists, just like the Republicans are bought and paid for by lobbyists. They both function off of a system that has a hierarchy. Whether you're Democrat or Republican, you know that's just the way the system's been functioning, right? If you don't, then hopefully you can learn that's the way these systems function. Spend a lot of my time, my free time, learning about the systems, how they function, and you see it today. So both parties are bought and paid for. If you listen to Donald Trump speak when he was president, he actually talked about it. He talked about how he donated his family's wealth, some of it, to Democrats and Republicans. Why? So that way they'll legislate the way he wants them to for certain things, so he and his family can keep their wealth and do the different things that they want to do. But a lot of people didn't really hear what Trump was saying when Trump spoke most of the best words that he could have in his presidency. And I apologize for that. I heard that man speak several times. So we know that this is just the way the system's been functioning, our government. I could tell you from the U.S. federal government all the way through our local and our state governments when it comes to Democrats and Republicans. That's just how terrible it is. The Koch brothers in the last, not the last presidential election, but when Trump was running, they spent over $300 million just to play with the politics in every state. Now, there's only 50 states. Do your math. It's a lot of money that just the Koch brothers, themselves, spent in trying to manipulate our state governments. And they did. Not only them, several other corporations controlled by folks like the Koch brothers. And I see it being played out now today in this election. So my premise to this information that most of us can agree on, whether you're Democrat or Republican or third party, we just see the way the game's being played. My premise on this is, okay, fine. I'm tired of bickering back and forth, flip-flopping, voting for Democrats and Republicans. I know now that they're all being controlled by a hierarchy that is bought and paid for by what's called lobbyists, which is actually a lot of people that don't even live in our country. They're not even American citizens that are controlling these things in our government. Make your vote matter. And the one thing that will scare both sides, get them to actually have to legislate if they want to keep their power, for the things that they speak about when they're running. Because we all seen both sides talk about what they'll do if they become our representatives. And then as soon as they get the job, they're like, oh, well, hold on a sec. That's going to take some time. And if they do accomplish anything, in anything that they say they're going to do, it's still not good. Like, it still doesn't function the way we wished it would. My best example for the latest would be Obamacare. Look at how that happened. They tried to help the insurance industry, us, obtain insurance, at the same time as adding what you'll call a Cadillac tax to the people that can't even afford to obtain their company's insurance. If your company offers insurance, comes at a limit, you got to work 40 hours a week type of crap. So even if they do something they want to do, it still isn't being played out in the best interests of us. Start voting independent and third party. We already know the Democrats and Republicans through the hierarchy with the wealth from the monarchs, shall I say, through lobbyists. They're already doing what they're doing, want to do. If they do not have the support of us, and as this thing grows, we can start obtaining different things. Well, control back over our government. So let me do this and show you our challenges. My dad always told me anything worth doing takes hard work. Because if something comes too easy, then we don't respect it anyway. This is the House directory just for our state, the Ohio representatives in the House. Oh, shucks. I know I did the math on how many of them there is. So, in the House of Representatives for Ohio, we have 99 different representatives. Now, most of these people, which if you notice, are all Democrats and Republicans, I would like to say that they're all good people. They want good things to occur for their people, I guess. But they're all in it to make money for themselves. So, because they're Democrats and Republicans, inevitably they're just trying to make money. The job itself does not pay very much. And there's a lot of them that have other jobs too. Plus, there are representatives. Starting wage for a House representative in Ohio is $63,000. Now, I know a lot of folks, working class people, red-blooded, hard-working American citizens that don't make $63,000 a year. I've had plenty of conversations with you people, and I know a lot of you have good hearts and have some good ideas to fix different issues that you've come across, right? I believe you're more intelligent if you have a good heart and want to help folks to not be bought and paid for through the hierarchy. All of these people will tell you, like when you talk to them about real issues and why they persist, they'll tell you it's because it's out of their control. Like they can't do anything about it. Why? Because they're bound by the party hierarchy that they're in. So they can't help you. It takes too many people, I'm told. So we need some eyes in there. Some independence. Speaking truth to power and ignorance because they're complacent. That's just the House of Ohio. Here's the Senate. So we have 33 senators in our state that make legislation. This guy, Mark Romanchuk, owns a factory in Mansfield, and I've talked to plenty of his constituents, like people that he golfs with, tell me about how they're upset because the way this man voted on Senate Bill 6 or Senate Bill 3, if I'm not mistaken, or 6. I don't remember specifically which one, but that basically changed our electrical system grid function the way it is. That's when Householder got the $60 million to bribe all these folks, and I'm pretty sure he's one of them. But he didn't have to suffer a consequence. He's still there. But we need to see some eyes in here too. this election, there's several different eyes. So all I do now when I go to vote is I look, I see the seat, I see Democrat, Republican. If I see an I or a third party, I will vote third party. But what I'm doing every time I do that is I'm letting the Democrats and the Republicans know that I don't support what they have been collectively doing through my entire lifetime with the two-party system. I've only seen our freedoms and our liberties, our inalienable rights being stripped from us with those two parties working at doing whatever they're gonna do. Like, I'm done with that. So right here you can see this is your basic starting wage, $63,000, $63,007. If I had one of those dollars or one of those jobs, I would definitely tell them, you can keep your $7. Just make it $63,000 a year. What keep shit simple is what I want to start implementing. But that's the starting salary. Like, the $7 matters. So that's for the Ohio House and Senate seats. It's both the same. Right here are all the Ohio U.S. Senate seats. And there's 16 of them. So you see Democrats, and then for the most part, majority Republicans sitting in the House, U.S. House, right now. 16 seats. If we start working together now, I say within 4 years, we could flip 2/3 of just these 16 seats in our state into ayes, independent people. And if we was to do that in the U.S. government, the House of Representatives, you know, that Nancy Pelosi controls right now, if we flip that in 4 years into all ayes, 2/3 into all ayes, guess what that means? We, just the representatives in Ohio, representing us in the federal government, we actually got some pull and some say in every stinking vote that they do for everybody. Now, if that isn't power, then I don't know what is. We could do that if we start this election and then 2014 election voting independent, which is going to make the Democrats and Republicans have to work harder, actually do some of the things that they say that they run on the best way, not the shitty way. They're going to have to start working harder at that, making, doing what's good for everybody, because they're losing their vote. Plus, as these 2 voting cycles go through, we, the independent group, start working together collectively for an outcome that is more positive than not. we can start taking back our country from lobbyists. As an independent, I believe that your feet should be held to the fire. Hopefully, we can get this group or a channel good communications for us to be able to hold their feet to the fire once they do get elected from us. And we'll finally have some democracy back. But it's possible. It's the only way, folks. And then right here, we have the 2 Senate seats for the U.S. government. I was really hoping I could run for this one. I did everything I could except, COVID ended up happening, right? Messing up our systems, our routines. And this guy ain't even running no more. Robert Portman. And then this guy, his election's coming up in 2024. Sherrod Brown. He's been a long-term politician too, aka Rhino. Hasn't done nothing for my state, positive, that I've seen. Talks a lot, but never really acted on anything positive. So I'll definitely, if I can get enough of you people to want to try to just do things different than the way we've always been doing them and work together, then I would run for that seat with your help and support in 2024. There's a couple people running for independents, running for the Senate seat right now that Rod Portman isn't trying to keep. And I know I'm going to vote for one of those gentlemen. If you knew what it took to actually run as an independent, you'll see in the system that it's harder than trying to run as a Democrat or a Republican. Minus having your hands tied behind your back once you obtain that position. The only reason why an independent has their hands tied behind their back once they win is because they chose to. Kind of like a Bernie Sanders caucusing with the Democrats. And you see how he had a big movement. All you people that were Bernie bros or whatever you want to call them, you've seen how the Democrats stole that from you. You've seen how that party system can do it, just like the Republican Party system is controlled by the hierarchy, and they can buy and steal whatever they want. So that's my premise. This is the only thing I can do to continuously let them know that my vote actually matters. And they're scared. Last presidential election I voted in, I voted for Jill Stein. And I know whether you're Democrat or Republican at the time, you knew who she was, because whoever you listened to, right, they talked about how, she stole votes from the Democrats or the Republicans in whatever different election. And she's a Russian puppet. She was sent here by Russia to run. But she was the best choice. if she would have won, she would have been able to do better than Donald Trump, like for the majority of people. And I don't believe she's a Russian. You got to actually hear her speak, not just hear people speak about her. But I'm all hands on deck when it comes to voting independent or third party and making them at least be afraid. It's only been there's only been more and more people that's been voting the way I have coming. Uh so let's get this group together, folks. Start getting her done. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you got something from it. That's my premise on what I believe to be the only logical way for us to fight back against these aspects that are controlling our environments. It's the only peaceful way. So, hope you bared with me. It's what? Almost 30 minutes. Good luck to all, and to each their own.